It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
4 for the final time.
Win number 1 on the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the Nazareth Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100k.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Our little West Coast swing continues as we head just a little bit farther south this week in Phoenix, Arizona for the shortest track so far on the schedule. We are here at the Phoenix Raceway for the Castrol 500k. This is Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series presented by Mellow Yellow. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 5 in season number 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series. We are here at the Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona for the Castrol 500k, 63 laps of action around this just over a mile long racetrack. And it's going to be an interesting one. So far, the shortest race of the season. And so far, the uncharted guys have had a bit of an advantage on the full-time guys. Last weekend, John Andrews went to victory lane in the number 2 uncharted machine. We had Ashley Boyd win 3 weeks ago at California. We're just going to have to see if another uncharted guy happens to go to victory lane again. The data shouldn't suggest that it's going to happen, but, I mean, I don't know. It's the 21st century. Anything can happen. But either way, it's going to be an interesting race here at the Phoenix Raceway, and I'm joined alongside Trey Bartow, 9-season veteran of this series. You've raced the Phoenix on the old configuration. You've raced Phoenix on this configuration. What do these guys have to do to win here today at the Phoenix Raceway in this 5th race of the season?
Easy. The easiest question is, answer, is hit your marks. If you don't hit your mark right, someone's going to take advantage of you messing up there, and they're going to pass you. So if you want to win here, you got to hit your marks. You can take advantage when people mess up theirs, and, you just hopefully make your way up front and win this thing.
We're going to have to see who can make their way up front here in this race, and maybe someone who's already up front who goes to victory lane here today. Last year, Alex in a row essentially dominated this race and went to victory lane. It's difficult to work your way through the field now under this new configuration, which is strange because the track really didn't change at all. But since we use a different version, the LP files, the INI is a little bit different, so it's a lot different than the old 2011 version that we used to use for many years. So we're going to have to see how it all goes down. It should be an interesting one here today, though, and we'll probably see a couple of incidents on the racetrack here on this Sunday, or this sunny, not Sunday, a sunny Saturday afternoon here in Avondale, Arizona. This is how they line up in the point standings. Sebastian Kukulon comes in the points leader, 141 points towards the championship. Keegan Thompson, 5 points behind. Our pole sitter here today, Nelson Reeves, is 18 points behind. Brock Nelson, 19 points behind. And LJ Cimento starts 5th here today, 20 points behind. Coming into this, the 5th race of the season. Still 20 races left to go until we begin the chase in August. So a long ways to go before we get to that point. But we're starting to see who's good and who's not so far this season. And for some of those guys in the back of the field in points, they should start trying to get up there and get some points here. So just start trying to take away those wins from the uncharted guys, for one thing. I think that's the main thing these full-time guys want to do here today. I think anyone would be happy if a full-time guy won. But hey, we'll have to see what Dennis Stryker and Christian Vargas can do here today. Stryker, they're starting in 9th. He could go to victory lane here in this 5th race of the season to make it 3 uncharted guys who've won so far this year. And trust me, the ratings are equal for him. I don't know where that's coming from. But either way, Nelson Reeves in the 05, starting on the pole position. He was the runner-up last week at Homestead. Thomas Troxel there, starting in 2nd. Row number 2 sees Alexander Rowe in the number 25, starting alongside Daniel McMillan. Alexander Rowe, the defending winner here at the Phoenix Raceway. He's got a good opportunity going back-to-back at this track. LJ Cimento has had a great season so far, looking to keep that up alongside Ben Young, who won at Homestead a couple weeks ago. Nathan Stapleton in the number 97, starting alongside Matt Dalio in row number 4. And then uncharted driver Dennis Stryker alongside Zachary Fitzwater, season 7 winner here at Phoenix a few years ago. Trey, you know a lot of these guys very well. You raced with them for many years. Who do you think is going to go to victory lane here today at the Phoenix Raceway in the Castrol 500k?
Well, the 05 looked really fast there in qualifying, and I would love to see one of my cars up there in victory lane with the 53 starting on the outside pole. So, but I'm going to go with the 05. The rookie's going to get his first win here today.
He's 3rd on the points. He's had a great season so far. very good opportunity. Nelson Reeves grabs his first win of the season. Shortest track of the year. Should be a fun one. Will a full-time guy finally win again? We're just going to have to wait and see. 60 feet left of action here at Phoenix. The Castrol 500k is underway from the Phoenix Raceway. Lap 1 will be led by Nelson Reeves as they battle intensively for the second position. We saw this yesterday at Willow Springs in the Turkey Hill National Series race. The leader was able to pull away because all these guys kept on battling for second. Look at this, Nathan Stapleton not wasting any time at all the way to second. In a battle right now with LJ Semedo and Alexander Rowe back on the inside lane. Troxel almost shutting the door on McMillan up there. But Nelson Reeves is like, you guys go ahead and battle for second. I'll just go ahead and pull away and win this thing. And right now he's doing that here at Phoenix.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to make a little bit of a gap there. But Nathan Stapleton started, what, in the 4th row? And not even a lap in, he was already up to 2nd place. He has an incredibly strong car, but we'll have to see how long it can last here. You know, as you said, I believe we're going to have pit stops here roughly halfway through this race, so we'll have to see what type of long run car he has. But on the short run, at least, looks like he's one of the strongest.
Yeah, we're looking at about a 45, 46 lap fuel run here today, so a little bit past halfway here at the Phoenix Raceway. But should be interesting to see how that affects the outcome of the event. It looks like Stapleton will finally clear Semedo, but he's going to slide up, and here comes last year's Phoenix winner, Alexander Rowe. And he's going to make it look easy on Stapleton right there. Stapleton definitely overshot that corner. McMillan is here as well in the number 79. But right now they're all racing for second and not for the race lead. And Nelson Reeves already has pulled out to an entire second of a lead here in this Castrol 500k. We're going to have to see if anyone pulls away from this second place battle and starts closing in on that 05. Alexander is definitely a guy who can do it. But he's got to clear these guys before that can happen. Semedo back to the inside of Stapleton. And McMillan here with an opportunity at gaining a couple of positions. Kukulon a little loose in the back of the field. It's still pandemonium back in here. Got 3 wide and sometimes maybe even 4 wide throughout the field here at the Phoenix Raceway. You got to be careful to avoid an accident. You got some 4 wide right there almost. And we do have some 4 wide down the dog leg. How about that?
They are doing everything they can to get as many positions as they can. They're doing an incredible job not to wreck anything. Maybe a little bit of contact there. The 18 slid up. It's going to jam up the field a little bit, but doesn't look like anything came out of it at the moment. They're a big moment right there, but luckily these drivers were able to get around it and not cause any cautions.
Yeah, Owen Miles stuck on the outside lane right there, falling back in the Hamill Racing Enterprises machine, and somehow they figured it out, and we still remain green here in the Castrol 500k. How about Logan Williams? Oh, he's pushing up in the Daniel McMillan there. Here comes Troxel. He's going to get a run right here. You got Dalio and Stapleton inside this top 10. The uncharted guy, Dennis Stryker, holding with these guys fairly well as well. And you got Cameron Garlington just inside the top 10 right here. Ryan Arani's moved up through the field very well. I believe he started in the 27th position. And now he's cracking the top 10 as he gets to the inside of Garlington. But up front, Nelson Reeves is, you said it, he has a very fast race car. And I think a lot of it, of course, has to do with that second place battle that we had. But nearly a second and a half, and we're only 8 laps in here in the Castrol 500k.
Yeah, he's definitely doing everything he needs to do at the moment here, but this 25 car right here is definitely not letting him get away too far. Alexander Rowe is gaining a little bit on 3rd place, not too much though. The 66 definitely keeping him within grasp here, but we'll have to see if anyone there, since they're all single file now, is going to have anything to catch up to our leader.
Should be interesting to see now that these guys have kind of slowed down their battle for second, if they can actually start to gain a little bit of ground on Nelson Reeves right here. Of course, Nelson Reeves really hasn't had to use up his stuff at this point. He just pulled out to the lead initially and hasn't had to battle with anyone the entire race. Semedo, he's a teammate here to Alexander Rowe, and I think if if either of them are gonna win this race at this point, they got to help each other out and not battle for second right now. I'm sure Davey Johnson's on the pit box telling them that here. How about Logan Williams, though? Great run for him in the 38 machine for American Motorsports. And Daniel McMillan, one of the longest losing streaks in this series. Been since Season 7 at Rockingham, North Carolina, since McMillan has gone to victory lane. Pretty good opportunity for him here today as he currently runs in the 5th position. Thomas Troxel, Matt Dalio, I almost said Roberto Crown Jr. He was in that ride a few weeks ago. Dennis Stryker. Ryan Durrani is fast. He's now to the inside of Nathan Stapleton for 9th. Then you got Garlington moving back inside the top 10 as he gets to the inside of Stapleton. We saw Stapleton up to 2nd earlier on, but now he's fallen back outside the top 10, so he may have used up his stuff there. He might have a short-run car right there. While Nelson Reeves seems to have a long-run car. He lost a little bit of ground right there, but he pulled out to a 1.71 second lead right there just a moment ago. And now Alex in a row trying to close back in on that. McMillan for 4th on Logan Williams.
Yeah, him right there is going to allow the 53 there to get into the inside of Williams as well there. So it's going to be, you know, one car losing 2 positions than just one corner there as they're going to team up together, I guess you could say. And you use the same line there to pass one car.
Definitely a very unique line that they run here. They clip that apron. We didn't used to do that on the old configuration. And not only that, through turns 1 and 2, they go below that yellow line sometimes to make some moves. And there's a lot of grip down there as well. So we see these guys run that line, and they gain a considerable advantage on the cars ahead of them. Matt Dahlia doing that a little bit there on Troxel and Logan Williams. Logan Williams stuck in that outside lane right now, and Troxel getting advantage on him. McMillan, not a good run off of turn 4 there as they head into the dogleg, but looks like he's going to hold on to that 4th position for the time being. But at this point, it's either going to be a caution or pit stops that's going to take Nelson Reeves out of contention for this race victory, because all that battling that they did for 2nd, they could not decide who was going to be the guy that chased down Nelson Reeves, and by the time they did, it was too late. And Alexander was trying to do something here in this 25, but at this point, everyone's kind of equal on the tires, and it's going to come down to when we get that cycle of pit stops, or if we get a caution and a restart, which is possible. They have, figured things out in the back of the field fairly well, but we're still early on in this race, and we still got some 3 wide going on here as Alonso, Christian Vargas, Ace Garcia, they're in a battle back in there. Going to be interesting to see how it all goes down for those guys, and if they can keep it clean throughout the entirety of this race. But Nelson Reeves hopes that they do not wreck, because he's got a pretty comfortable lead right now, 16 laps into this Castrol 500k.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be honest now. It's Phoenix. You never know what's going to happen at this racetrack. That's why everyone likes it. You can see the 75 there, a big slide up into the corner there. It's going to allow the 38, and pretty almost everyone else behind him there is probably going to get to the inside of him. That was a big moment right there in itself.
Ryan Durrani continues to move up through the field. He's just gone to 8th. He might get 7th here from Matt Dahlia. May be able to get a run on Logan Williams as well at some point. This 68 looking very fast right now here at Phoenix, and like I mentioned, start deep in the field. He has been able to keep this momentum going pretty well. Stapleton, on the other hand, falling back in the 97. And he's losing positions to Ben Young, Patrick Smith right there for the 14th and 15th positions. How about Keegan Thompson? He's up here just outside the top 10 and 12th behind Cameron Garlington. Thompson with an opportunity of taking the points lead here today. Kukul on our points leader, number 13. Few positions behind him, but that's more than 5 positions, I will say. And Kukulon there in the 20th position. The way they currently run, I do believe Kukulon would lose the points lead to Keegan Thompson. We're going to have to see how that all goes down. Alex in a row trying to close in 1.2 seconds right now. It's going to be interesting to see if Alex in a row can close in. These top 4, they have essentially pulled away, and then the battle kind of keeps on going further back throughout the field. Logan Williams now in a battle with Thomas Troxel, but Troxel seems to have the advantage on that position for now. Williams up the racetrack, and that might open the door for Dahlia to get back to the inside.
Yeah, we're going to see how they're going to come off of turn 2. It is now. I got to remember it's the new configuration. I always have trouble remembering that one. But 75 here of Matt Dahlia is trying to work his way around the 38. He's actually going to lose ground here in turns 3 and 4. It's going to allow the 68 to catch up to the back of him, but he's going to pull away using, the dog leg there to gain a little bit of ground on him.
Nathan Smith to the inside of Dennis Stryker. That is for the 9th position, and now Garlington's going to get a run on the 29 machine. A lot of battling going on midway through the field, but Nelson Reeves is not part of any of that because he pulled away right at the start of the show. We'll go through the field again and see how things are going. It's a pretty rhythmic racetrack. It's kind of hard to make a mistake here where it affects somebody else. A little bit of a slower paced course, so that makes it a little bit easier for these guys to avoid accidents, but you almost saw a couple earlier on when they were going 4 wide throughout this place, and these guys are still sliding through the corners. And as the tires wear out here at the Phoenix Raceway, it's going to be a little bit harder to control these cars off the corner. I mean, the lap times are definitely slowing down at this point, no doubt about it, and we're going to see that throughout this run. We're about halfway through this run here. Like I said, about a 40 to 40, or should I say 45 lap fuel run, roughly, for these guys. But tire wear is also going to come into play here, because it's a flat track. Those tires come into play, and these guys are definitely going to try to play some strategy to get an advantage on this 05 machine. I will say, Alex in a row isn't falling behind. He's essentially kept a 1.5 second gap between him and Reeves. So that 25, if he can get a good advantage on the cycle, could have an opportunity of getting around that 05 machine, but it's going to take a cycle of pit stops or a caution for these guys to close in on Nelson Reeves at this point. And right now, it's not looking like we're going to get either of those anytime soon, so Nelson Reeves may be in the long run to dominate this race here at Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm definitely not taking the 25 out of this race quite yet. As you said, pit stops could be a major factor in this race on who wins and who doesn't win. You know, if the driver makes mistakes, if the pit crews make a mistake, it could change the perplexity of this race altogether. So we'll have to see what happens here, but we might have a pass for third here in a second.
Daniel McMillan getting a run on the outside of LJ Semedo. Semedo getting a good drive off of turn 2 right there. And once these tires wear out, it gets a lot harder to make moves here at this place, and I think we're starting to see that inside the top 10 right now. These guys have kind of solidified into their respective positions. Zachary Fitzwater moving to the inside of Keegan Thompson. That is for the 14th position. Ben Young, Homestead winner there. The only two full-time winners so far this season right on each other right there. Zachary Fitzwater and Ben Young, Daytona and Homestead. Realized that all the times we've been on the West Coast, the uncharted guys have won. All the times we've been on the East Coast, the full-time guys have won. Look at that move right there out of Ben Young. 3 wide to the inside of Fitzwater and Thompson. Have a bold move right there out of the 5 machine, but he's going to be able to hold on to... not going to be able to. Fitzwater continues to remain in that position. Definitely a very interesting race so far. Kind of like how last week's race went. Kind of a long green flag run here at the Phoenix Raceway. Went caution-free last week, and we may end up going caution-free for 2 weeks in a row. But hey, that's a good thing in a way. These guys, you know, don't like to pay all the money to repair those cars, even though they're virtual cars.
Oh, no. We always got to pay money for when our virtual cars get damaged. You know this.
Yeah. Hey, it's a video game. We always like to treat it as such here in the NOFSRL. 53 machine there of Thomas Troxel. Currently inside the top 5. Great run for Troxel. He's had a pretty solid season so far for your team, and looking to back up that strong run he had at Homestead with a strong run here today at Phoenix, and right now he's doing so. I think at this point, you know, all these guys are formulating strategies when they come down the pit lane here, because the tire wear is going to be the big kicker for these guys, and if you don't have a good strategy, if you come down too late, you're going to lose some time initially. I think these guys who come down early, they're going to be the ones at the advantage once we get this whole thing to cycle through, so going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. It's almost like these guys are kind of holding each other up at this point. They're all on each other here, all kind of behind Daniel McMillan here in the 79 machine, and aren't many gaps between those guys, but they're all still single file, trying to ride this out until we get to that cycle. Almost halfway through this race here in the Castrol 500k. Bit of a shorter race here on the schedule for these guys. Only 63 laps on a mile-long racetrack, so once we get to lap 32, we'll officially be halfway through this 5th race of the season. Here's Jalarvin Alonso to the inside of Tristan Allen. That's midway through the field right there. I think that's the first side-by-side battle we have on the racetrack for 27th. The top 26 time, we have some going on here. Kukulon and Miller to the inside of Lopez, and then you got Fitzwater making a move on Brandon Nelson. Teammates there at Grattan Racing. The thoughts on this one so far, it's definitely a slower-paced race. Not much happening at the moment, but how do you think this cycle of pit stops going to affect this race once we get to it?
Oh, I mean, it could definitely, affect it majorly, or it could do nothing at all. It really depends on, what the 25, the 66, 79, what all they do on their pit stops, and most importantly, what, the 05 does on his pit stop is really what's going to, show who does and doesn't have a chance to win this thing. As I said before, if the driver or pit crew makes any mistakes whatsoever, it could make their day or it could break it all in one, all in a couple of seconds.
Yeah. Definitely going to be critical to how this race is going, considering how difficult, especially at this point, because these guys are spread out. Very difficult to make a pass and get a run on the guy ahead of you. How about McMillan, though? Great move there on LJ Semedo. Some long-run speed in this 79 machine, and we haven't really seen much of McMillan at all throughout the Cup Series the past few years. Actually had a good run at Homestead, and currently sits 13th in points, so it's actually not been a bad season for McMillan so far. A lot better than last year, but like I mentioned, hasn't been the victory lane in a very long time, and it was on another mile-long racetrack, the Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina, back in the NRLOA days. That was a long time ago, 2018, almost 3 years ago. But McMillan doing a good job so far in that 79 machine. And I think for these guys, too, you know, with it being a strict, well, not really a strict points format, but, you know, you definitely want to make sure you have enough points to make it in the chase. Guys like Alexander Rowe, who started off the season terribly, even if he doesn't get the win, this is going to be huge for him in the point standings if he can hold on to this top 5 run. We'll have to see what he can do in that number 25 machine. You know, knock on wood here, he is closing in on Nelson Reeves for this race lead here. That's the closest it has been since essentially the start of this race. Wondering if we got some long-run speed coming out of the 25 and the 79, because they have both closed in significantly on Nelson Reeves here later in this run.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was watching the timer there in the top left, and he has been closing in each and every lap. It's not by much, but I mean, you know, a little bit is something huge at the end of the day, so we'll have to see what he does this time. He actually lost a little bit, but not too much, but he's going to get pressure here from the 79. He's going to dive it low. What a... I guess you could call that a power move. He just forced his way below the 25 there.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on, there is a lot of grip below that yellow line through 1 and 2, and McMillan found it, and McMillan may be able to get the position on Rowe here for second. It's going to be tight. May have to cut the dog leg to have an opportunity again in turns 1 and 2. Going to lose a little bit of time here to Nelson Reeves, but McMillan definitely wants to be in the position to advance on Reeves once the cycle begins. And speaking of which,
goodness,
Alexander was like, I'm going to go ahead and start the cycle. So 36 lap fuel run. He's the only guy coming in here. This is interesting.
He might be trying to undercut.
He might be trying to undercut here. We're past halfway in this race, so fuel's not going to be an issue for him, so he can do so. Now, the only thing here for Alexander Rowe is, once we get to the end of this race, will those tires hold off compared to everybody else? McMillan, he's going to stay out there. Semedo is going to come down. Matt Daly has all of a sudden found himself in third. This is, look at this. This is the teammate to Alexander Rowe. LJ Semedo there in the 66 machine. North State Racing pulling some strategy right there. I believe it's going to be a 4-tire stop for Alexander Rowe. Of course, this is a track where you want 4 tires, and I do believe it is. I have to see when Nelson Reeves comes down the pit lane. These guys got to be careful coming down the pit lane. We makes it very, very nerve-wracking when we get get those guys to kind of jam up off the corner and a wreck happens in the middle of the cycle. That would completely... Alpha B in the 6. Alpha B in the 6. I don't know if that's going to trigger a yellow or not. It might not. But Alpha B just hit the attenuator, and no caution. Don't normally see that in real life. That's going to end Alpha B's chances. That goes right up with when he cleared the field in the Body Armor Cup Series at Daytona. That's a tough break for Alpha B. Had a terrible entry into the pit lane. Here's Alexander Rowe and LJ Semedo. At the moment, I think they're a lap down, so they're coming around to get their lap back on the 05 and the 79 machines. Actually, I don't think they are. I think that they are coming around and they're on the lead lap again. They're going to have a lot of momentum now because they came down a couple laps earlier, and look at Alexander Rowe in the 25. Right to the inside of Nelson Reeves. All that momentum, almost getting into Nelson Reeves, and he did get into him. He came in fast, but Nelson Reeves able to power it down and hold on. But now this race lead is down to nothing. Last set of guys coming off the pit lane here. I think Brandon Nelson's on the tail end of the lead lap, and to the inside for the race lead. Alexander Rowe going to take it away from Nelson Reeves.
There it is. The undercut works.
It does.
66 right there, too. He might get advantage on the 05 here as well.
Both Rowe and Semedo, they came down before anybody else. Look at that. 25 machine is fast. Alexander Rowe knows it, and I think the yellow's out.
Uh-oh.
At the perfect time, too, because I think they got through that entire cycle And that's going to play into the favor of Nelson Reeves, because now Nelson Reeves is going to have an opportunity, because that 25 was going to pull away right there, but now Nelson Reeves is going to have an opportunity to close right back in, and a massive accident. Massive accident. Fisher G in the 7. Fitzwater's torn up. Nathan Smith as well. There's Brett Sierra in the 12. Eli Bright's down the pit lane. There were more guys involved. Sam Adio, Jordan Lopez, Mason Brown as well. Oh my goodness. It was building up. We haven't had a caution since Homestead, and it was building up to that one, and it looks like that is going to take out a lot of guys. But thankfully, we got through the cycle of pit stops. Nobody's going to get trapped a lap down or on the tail end of the lead lap, and we're going to have ourselves a legitimate restart when we come back as well, with Alexander Rowe leading the field. So we thought at the top of the show, Nelson Reeves is going to pull away and dominate this race. Well, now it's a completely different game. How do you think it's going to play out here? Because Alexander Rowe knows how to get it done here at Phoenix, and he may very well, I should say, go back-to-back here.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not putting money down on anyone at the moment. Like we said, those pit stops could change everything, and we thought it was going to be the actual pit stops themselves, but it was a caution right afterwards. So if I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea who could pull away with this win.
Yeah, I mean, look at some of the guys up here. LJ Cemento, Matt Dalio there in 4th, Daniel McMillan. Ryan Durrani was very, very fast earlier on there, and that 68's I got to watch out for. And it's the interesting thing is now that we don't have a double file restart, now we're going to have a single file. I think these guys are going to stay a lot closer together on this final run, assuming we don't end up with another caution. But it took us a while to get our first caution, 40 laps into this Castrol 500k, but a massive accident. It does appear that it took place off of turn 2 and down the backstretch. So let's go ahead and see what happened to bring it out here in the Castrol 500k at Phoenix in Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series. Well, this is interesting incident. You see Tristan Allen and Thomas Troxel, they're coming off the pit lane here. Troxel was also involved in all of this. Fitzwater are going to split the medal between Troxel and Lopez. I don't know what Troxel's doing. Troxel just moves up in the Fitzwater and Lopez, and Fitzwater has nowhere to go but into Lopez, and you're going to see right here, this did not end too well for anyone. Troxel gets caught up hard in the outside wall right here. Fitzwater went sideways and everything, tapped the wall again. It was a pretty hard hit there for the 14 machine. And then, you're going to see here, Cameron Garlington in the 34. We don't really have a good angle of all this. It's the spectator cam, a little ways. Garlington got a piece of it there. Brock Nelson. Ben Young splits those guys. Alonso avoids it. I think Turner avoids it, but then right here, Mason Brown, Jordan Lopez, Kukul on our points leader, Christian Vargas there as well. And then back in here, Shane Lake, Cody Sill. Hard hit for Ace Garcia. Actually, I think Cody Sill avoided it. Downey got a piece of that one right there. Nathan Baer got a piece of it. Sam Adio. Sam Adio got rear-ended by his teammate. Fisher G just piled right into all that. And then you see the 12 machine of Brett Sierra as well run right into the 7 machine. Brad Stover, Trey Smith come in here. Stover gets a piece of it right there. Owen Miles and Trey Smith as well. We don't see ARCA brakes too much anymore, but that's exactly what that was. ARCA brake central right there off of turn number 2 here at Phoenix.
Alright, you can see here again the two guys on the bottom exiting. You can see Fitzwater here. He's going to try to go below the 28 truck, so I'm assuming he tried to block the 14 there just to, you know, not lose another position, but it did not work out well. Close calls there. Gets nailed out into the outside wall, and then, like you said, I mean, track is just completely blocked right here. Huge hits. ARCA brakes at its finest right here. Multiple drivers involved, still getting collected in there. You can see the 99 just got a little bit of a hit there. Some drivers driving away, and then there was only like 1 or 2 that couldn't maneuver themselves away, but the huge one here at Phoenix, still some contact going on afterwards.
Yeah, that wasn't pretty. We're going to go on board Fitzwater there. That was a big enough wreck to warrant an onboard. We're going to see what happened on board the Daytona 500 champion of Zachary Fitzwater. On board, number 14 of Zachary Fitzwater for this one, and we're going to see right here, gets into Lopez, and nothing you can do at this point. See, these guys come right in on him here. Man, that's a hard hit there, and again, they just pile right into him. No mercy for anyone there and, off of turn 2 at the end of that one.
Oh,
hey, that's the way it goes sometimes, and like I said, we were building up to a big accident. We haven't had a wreck since Homestead, and they had a big one here at Phoenix. Let's get back to the restart. Alex in a row, leading Nelson Reeves. We'll have to see who gets the advantage. LJ Cimento there, Matt Dalio, Daniel McMillan. A lot of guys going to get a win here in the Castrol 500k. We are back after that massive accident. Going to take out a quarter of the field. Wasn't quite expecting that here today, but guys going to get knocked out include Jordan Lopez, Nicholas Samadillo, Fisher G, Brett Sierra. Eli Bright is still on the racetrack. He had a separate issue and is currently 3 laps down. Brock Nelson, Zachary Fitzwater, Shane Lake, Ace Garcia, and of course we saw what happened to Christopher Alphaby during pit stops. Hit the attenuator. Certified bro moment right there. Alexander Rowe, Nelson Reeves, LJ Cimento, Matt Dalio, Daniel McMillan, the top 5. Under 20 laps to go, going to be 19 to go at the line. And they're essentially all in the same cycle here. Nelson Reeves does have a couple laps fresher tires than Rowe and Cimento, but Dalio and McMillan have the same set as the 05. But it doesn't look like that matters. Alexander Rowe with a good jump on the restart, and these guys are going to jump all over Nelson Reeves on here. Matt Dalio going to take it 3 wide for second on Cimento and Reeves. Going to push up into Cimento and Reeves. Here comes McMillan. Here comes Durrani. And they're now 3 wide for 4th as Dalio looks to take it away from Cimento. Dalio wants a shot at Alexander Rowe for this race win.
What a start after this restart. 2 drivers forcing themselves 3 wide into the first corner. I mean, I don't think the 05 is going to be very happy about that move, but it's what racing is here. They're going to have to do whatever they can on these restarts to get as many positions as they can. But you can see already the 66 of Cimento making a move back to the inside beneath Dalio there. So we'll have to see what the 66 has for the 25.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see who gets this done because Alexander Rowe did not pull away from the field like Reeves did on the initial start. So Cimento now up to second. That's the teammate to Alexander Rowe. Cimento has never won before in the Cup Series. He would love to get it done here at Phoenix. This ride has won here before with Patrick Smith driving it back in season number 8, I think. Yeah, season number 8 when Patrick Smith won here. Nelson Reeves going to try again on Dalio. Not going to be able to get it. How about Keegan Thompson, currently in 5th? Great run for this Trinity River Racing machine. Thompson's another guy who's never won before in this series, even though he did win the 1,000th race, the exhibition event. Not an official Cup Series win. I will like to say Tristan Allen there in the 95 is a lap down. Speaking of long losing streaks right there. LJ Cimento trying to close in, but Alexander Rowe is now pacing this field. Dalio looking to get a run back on Cimento. Ooh, he might have a shot right here. Got some grip there off the corner. All these guys chasing down the 25, and Alexander Rowe is not pulling away from this one.
I mean, it's what we expected, as you said. You know, pretty much the top 2 have almost the same exact wear on their tires. They had a 1 lap difference, if even. So they're going to be pretty even here, but I'm interested to see what the guys behind them have who have fresher tires, if they're going to be able to make their way up in time to pass the leader here or not, especially this 05. You know, he has some vengeance on his mind after he was forced 3 wide there up top and lost some positions. Yeah,
I will say Reeves did not have a good restart. That definitely affected how well he ended up running there. Oh boy, Rowe a little bit low off the corner, and Cimento going to get an opportunity to close in on him, but Dalio right there on the 66 machine. Dalio has about 2 lap fresher tires than Alexander Rowe and about 1 lap fresher tires in the 66, and I think the later on we get in this run, the more we're going to see that come into effect. Dalio going to take it away from Cimento, going to try to. They're going to be side by side off the corner. That's exactly what Alexander Rowe wants to see. Dalio going to hold the advantage on the inside lane, and if he can hold the inside heading into turn 1, he will more than likely take the position away from Cimento, and he will. So now Dalio looking to chase Alexander Rowe for the top position. Meanwhile, Logan Williams on Nelson Reeves for 4th. Great run there for Williams. Here comes Thompson looking to go back inside the top 5. And one thing I will say, Rowe has not pulled away from this field, and Dalio is coming in the 75. Dalio now pulling away from Cimento. This 75 looking really strong here.
Yeah, it's definitely not what, you know, Rowe wants to see in his rearview mirror is the 75 being able to pull away from the pack here, but we're going to have to see what Dalio has for him. As we look back here, we got some more racing here. The 05's up top. He's just going to continue to lose positions here if he gets stuck up there. Looks like he is. All the cars are just going to, you know, queue underneath him and just wait for their turn to pass him.
Yeah, you have Thompson and Durrani making moves there. Patrick Smith. Dennis Stryker's still up here. One guy who has fallen off is McMillan. He's now down to the 10th position, and McMillan was really strong earlier on, but looks like he's used up all of his stuff there in that 79 machine. But Logan Williams hasn't used up all his stuff yet. He's now up to 3rd. Williams has gotten around Semedo. Oh, he's going to get around Dalio here. Dalio with a terrible exit off the corner. What he's trying to do is get that cut into the dog leg, and you got to ride that momentum off the corner in order to get a good run. And here comes Logan Williams to the inside of Matt Dalio for 2nd. Thompson now on Semedo for 4th. I don't know. Alexander Rowe's going to be tough to pass here, kind of like Ryan Newman. Logan Williams going to try to get around Dalio. Not going to get it quite yet. Dalio, he might have an advantage now to get around Rowe. He's on that outside lane. He's got the run, and Semedo was able to get around Thompson. Semedo going to go back on Williams for 3rd. How about Patrick Smith? He's won here before. He's now up to 6th for Grattan Racing. Great run for Patrick Smith. But all this battling for 2nd is starting to allow Alexander Rowe to pull away. We have now, when we cross the line this time by, it's only going to be 8 laps to go here at Phoenix for Alexander Rowe.
He's definitely hoping these are the fastest 8 laps he's ever ran at this track, especially with that 75. You know, he's fallen back, came right back up, fallen back, came right back up. You cannot get this man out of 2nd place here. He's definitely doing everything he can to catch the back of the 25 here, but the real question is, when is he going to do it, and how is he going to get past him if he does do it?
They're battling for 3rd. That's a good sign for Dalio to hold on to 2nd. Dalio is going to stay right with Alexander Rowe off of turn number 4, and this may be the best opportunity Dalio has had. He's got to just hold the line, and if he can stay right on the bumper of Alexander Rowe, he's going to have a shot at this race win. But both of these guys, highly experienced veterans in the NOFSRL Cup Series. And both of them going to go all out for this race victory here at Phoenix. Semedo has cleared for 3rd on Logan Williams. Keegan Thompson to the inside of Williams now. Dalio's going to have a run to the inside. Down the dog leg. He's got a nose for the race lead. Lap 58 of 63 to the inside. Matt Dalio and Alexander Rowe. LJ Semedo is here in the 66. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch here at Phoenix.
Is the 66 going to look 3 wide for the lead, or is he going to think better of it and
boy.
wait for his turn? Oh, my God.
Dalio powered it right to the inside in the turn 3. And to the point, Matt Dalio takes it away with 5 laps to go on the Castrol 500k. But Rowe is still here. He's going to move back down to the inside, and they're still side by side for the race lead. Don't look now. Here comes Dennis Stryker. Oh, no. Uncharted guy. Get him out of the way. Dalio going to get a great run on the outside, though. That might be the move right there. And just as we saw earlier on, Dalio had 2-lap fresher tires, and I mentioned later in the run we're going to see that come into effect. Well, now Matt Dalio pulling away from Alexander Rowe here at Phoenix.
I think that was the winning run, or move, I guess you could say, was when, you know, he was able to power on the outside and get past him. He's got room here,
and around! Almost around! No. That is one of the Velocistore guys. That is Trotzel, who almost got sent around by Alonso. He kept it together, though, and we remain green. And Rowe knows he still has a shot here. Alexander Rowe still has an opportunity at getting this win. 3 laps to go with Phoenix. Rowe's going to try to get a run on the outside lane here on Matt Dalio, but Dalio, I think that 75 is just a little too OP at this point. Going to be 2 laps to go next time by for the Otter Island Motorsports driver. Rowe trying to go back-to-back at Phoenix in the NOFSRL Cup Series. Couldn't hold on to the run. Great run off the corner for Dalio with 2 to go.
We're going to see how bad Rowe wants this win here. We're going to see how bad Dalio wants his win here as well. What are they going to be willing to do? You can see the 29. Whoa. Oh, my goodness.
Here comes Thompson.
Oh,
and here comes Patrick Smith. Oh, brother. Matt Dalio is like, you know what? If you guys want to wreck, go ahead. White flag in the air in the Castrol 500k, and Matt Dalio's pulling away in the 75. Alexander Rowe just doesn't have enough. Dennis Stryker, uncharted driver in his first ever Cup Series start, up to 3rd. It's not going to be enough for Stryker. It's not going to be enough for anyone else. Look at this nonsense. Look at that. Logan Williams all of a sudden up to 5th. He got around Patrick Smith, Keegan Thompson, and Nathan Stapleton. But Matt Dalio's going to join. Jesse Turner, Zachary Fitzwater, Garrett Senor, and John Arndt as 20-time winners on Napa Fan. Matt Dalio wins the Castrol 500k here at Phoenix. How about that?
Holy cow, I need to catch my breath. There was so much going on in those last 3 laps of the race.
You can thank Matt Tuck for giving us that I. Patrick Smith gets 5th after all of that. Keegan Thompson ended up 6th. Logan Williams 7th. Stapleton 8th. Nelson Rees 5th, or 9th, I should say. And then Ben Young rounds out the top 10. But at the end of it all, Mr. Matt Dalio has finally gotten his 20th career Napa Fan win here today at the Phoenix Raceway. How about that for the 10-season veteran getting it done here today in the Castrol 500k? That was fun. Don't you say, Trey?
Oh my goodness, that was easily the highlight of my day right there. These drivers gave it their all, even if they weren't racing for the win, they gave it their all for whatever position they were racing for. That was madness.
Right there at the end, too. And they were like 4 wide for 3rd or for 4th or 5th. One of those positions there would be Patrick Smith, Thompson, Williams, and Stapleton. They just all went for it. Really couldn't focus on it because Dalio was like, "Hey, you know, I'm winning, guys. You gotta show me." Take a look at the rest of the results right there, and you see all the guys got knocked out from that big accident that we had. Very unfortunate incident there between all those guys. And to keep in mind, we review the accident when we're done the recording of the race because my computer doesn't crash. So at the time of us talking right now, we actually don't know how the accident went down. But we do know who was involved. Lopez, San Medeo, Fisher G, Brett Sear, Brock Nelson, Fitzwater Lake, and Ace Garcia. And obviously, Ace Christopher Appleby with the certified bro moment of the day. But Matt Dalio, how about the veteran right there? And we all look at Dennis Stryker finishing 3rd. I mean, look at that. These Uncharted guys have been insane this year, and Dennis Stryker mixed it up with Alex Inero and Matt Dalio, a Daytona 500 champion, a Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion. You know, watch out for Stryker. If he gets in the hot seat again, watch out for him. You race against him in Turkey Hill, so I want to watch for him over there. But final thoughts on this race, man. What a day here at Phoenix. What a great race here in the Castrol 500k. And it started out very, very boring, I will say. But then that caution came out and it was on. Dalio took advantage of it all at the end of this one.
I mean, I think it completely shows you what Phoenix is all about. Is, you know, it might be a little slow at the beginning, but near the end, these drivers are willing to put it all on the line just to get the race victory. And I mean, this race had all the check boxes for me. We had the big one. We've had exciting passes for the lead. We've seen stuff we wouldn't even think would happen at Phoenix, and it was just amazing. It
was. And Matt Dalio, one of the most experienced drivers in the field, won the first ever pole on Napa Fan all the way back in 2015. Once again in victory lane. Not only that, his 20th career Napa Fan win. I think, did I mention Sam Medeo is also a 20-time winner? I mentioned Turner, Fitzwater, Senor, Arndt, and I forgot Sam Medeo. So that's, Dalio's now the 6th guy to win 20 races on Napa Fan. And he joins all of those legends in that 20-win club here today at Phoenix. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a blast to record with Trey. I mean, dude, this guy, this guy, if you want to have a good time, just hang around this guy. That's all I got to say. And huge thanks to Trey Barcher for calling this race with me. We'll have him in the booth for some more races this year. No doubt about it. We'll get him in the booth with Matt for a race. That'll be fun. Yeah. Co-team owners in the same booth together.
That'd be a great time.
Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. And here are the points for the NOFSRL Cup Series after 5 races. Next weekend, you thought that was fun. We head to Atlanta. Atlanta is always bonkers in the NOFSRL Cup Series. The Truest 500 next Saturday at noon Eastern Time, right here on AG Racing. That should be a fun one for 65 laps around that mile-and-a-half racetrack in Hampton, Georgia. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Matt Dalio for grabbing the race victory here at Phoenix. And here are the points for the NOFSRL Cup Series after 5 races. On behalf of Mr. Trey Bartow, number 4 himself, I will see you guys later.